Hello everyone, it's Veronica and welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to be doing the Mid-Year Freakout Tag, and I know so many booktubers who are doing this challenge, this tag, and I thought about doing it and I did it. The Mid-Year Freakout Tag questions will be down in the description box below for you guys to check out if you guys want to do it yourself. So let's dive in. The first question is, what is the best book you've read so far in 2020? And for me, my favorite book so far is going to have to be Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens, and I absolutely loved this. It deals with murder mystery, and our main character, Kaya for short, she is accused of murdering one of her exes, and this book kind of dives into a past-present jump, and so I really enjoyed this. I actually first listened to it on audiobook on my Libby, and I loved the audiobook, so I got the hard copy because it was fantastic, and I still love it. I rated it 5 stars. This book was... oh, it stopped. Sorry about the noise, but this book was worth 5 stars, so this is my best book of 2020. The next question is the best sequel I've read so far, and that is going to have to be Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. It is basically the sequel after The Infernal Devices, and I absolutely loved The Infernal Devices. The Infernal Devices is my favorite, and Chain of Gold basically comes right after, timeline-wise, right after The Infernal Devices. It is their children. If you guys haven't read it, I do suggest reading Infernal Devices. It's so good. But I read Chain of Gold. If you guys want to check out my Chain of Gold reading vlog, it will be in the cards. The next question is, what are new releases you haven't read but want to? And I'm gonna have to go with a series for this. It is the Daevabad series by S.A. Chakraborty. I want to read The City of Brass, The Kingdom of Copper, and The Empire of Gold. The first 2 books, City of Brass and Kingdom of Copper, came out in the past, but specifically The Empire of Gold came out this year, and that is the 3rd book in the trilogy. So I really want to read all 3 books. I've been really excited to read this. It's one of the books that I've just been so excited for. And also the covers are especially gorgeous with these books. They're so beautiful. It deals with kind of like a Middle Eastern setting, I believe. I don't know too much about it, but I've heard so many booktubers talk about it, and it's just made me really excited to read it. So that was The Empire of Gold, the new release that I wanted to read, but I haven't read the first 2 books, so I really wanted to read the series in total. The next question is, what is the most anticipated release for the second half of 2020? And that for me is going to have to be Crazy Stupid Bromance by Lyssa K. Adams. I've been hearing such good things about the Bromance book club and Undercover Bromance, the first 2 books in the series, and the Crazy Stupid Romance I really want to read. I've been so excited. I obviously want to read the first 2 books first, so I'm going to be doing that before it comes out. It comes out in October this year, so I'm really excited to read it. The next question is, what is the biggest disappointment that I have read? And I know the answer to this because I was so excited to read this. I heard good things about it on BookTube, and also I've just also been hearing moderate reviews on it on BookTube and Goodreads as well. The book I am most disappointed in was In 5 Years by Rebecca Serle. I was looking forward to it really excitedly. I ended up rating this a 3.5, which is average to me. I heard such good things about it. I thought I would rate it a 4 or a 5. And honestly, I was just so sad. I did a review on it on my blog. If you guys want to go check that out, it is down in the description box below. But I really wish I liked it a lot more. I did like the family aspect, the friendship aspect to it, which is why I gave it that 0.5, which is why I rated it 3.5. But honestly, I probably would have given it a 2 star because I just was not a fan. But the family and friendship was such a huge part of this, and health as well, so that's why I gave it a 3.5. But other than that, that was my main reason as to why this was kind of the biggest disappointment I read so far. The next question is, what is the biggest surprise that I've read so far? And I'm going to talk about 2 books. The first book is Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall, and thank you to NetGalley, by the way. I actually got the arc for this book, and I read it and did a review on it. I loved it. I gave it a 4-star. It was really good to read, and I did a review. If you guys want to go check it out, down in the description box below. And I really enjoyed it. It deals with Luke O'Donnell. He is basically the son of 2 rather famous singers, rock stars, I believe, and he kind of gets caught in a sticky situation, and in order to fix that situation back up and just pick up his image for the public to see that he's actually good, he enlists Oliver Blackwood to fake date him, and this was their romance, and I loved it. It was so cute, so funny. I really enjoyed reading it, and just the romance, it was so sweet, and it was very slow burn throughout the whole thing. I was just like, get together, please. When they finally did, I was pleasantly pleased, and I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much, NetGalley, for giving me an e-arc. It was so good. And when it comes out in July, I think, so pretty soon. But if you guys want to go check it out, I think you guys should. The next book for the biggest surprise is Before You Say I Do by Clare Lydon, and I read it in my Pride Month Part 2 reading vlog, which will be up in the cards and down in the description box for you guys to check out. It deals with Abby and Jordan. Abby and Jordan end up falling in love, and they were so cute throughout the whole series. It was just the temptation and everything. This was one of my favorites. I really enjoyed it. It was not slow burn, but their relationship was just adorable, and I really loved it. It came out recently, so if you guys want to go check it out, I totally think you should. I really enjoyed Boyfriend Material and Before You Say I Do, and I would totally recommend both books to you guys. The next question is, what is my favorite new author debut, or just new to me in general? And it is Sarah J. Maas. I got A Court of Thorns and Roses and the Throne of Glass series along last year, but I only just started reading her books in February or March, and I absolutely fell in love with her. That leads me to my next question, which is, what is my newest fictional crush? And that is Rowan Whitethorn. He's just the most handsomest, hottest fae I've ever read, and he appears in Heir of Fire, which is I think the 4th or 5th book. I think it's the 4th book, but he's I love him so much, and honestly I much prefer Rowan compared to Rhysand. I don't know why, but I loved Aelin and Rowan's relationship. They were absolutely adorable together. So he was just the best, and I absolutely loved him. Heir of Fire was just when he came in, and their relationship throughout Heir of Fire was fantastic. Besides Throne of Glass, I've been absolutely loving Hunt Athalar from her new series, Crescent City. The book is House of Earth and Blood. Hunt is our male character. He's an angel, and he's hot, and I love him. He's one of my new favorites now. Still behind Rowan, but I really enjoyed Hunt and Bryce. They were just such a cute couple together, and I really enjoyed Crescent City. So that was just me and Sarah J. Maas. I love her books so far, and I have no complaints to her books. Okay guys, the next question is, who is my newest favorite character? And I'm gonna have to answer with Matthew Fairchild from Chain of Gold. I love him so much. He's just so cute, and he's one of those parabatais that you really want for yourself, and I'm so in love. I fell in love with him the very first moment he was introduced in Chain of Gold, and he's just such a mood. I love the relationship development between Parabatai and just the Merry Thieves friendship. I love him, and he was one of my favorite characters throughout the whole book, besides obviously James and, you know, Cordelia and Lucy. They're my favorite, but Matthew specifically stuck with me, and he was just the best, and I loved him, and he just made me so happy. He made me so happy when I was reading it, and I love him. The next book is a book that made you cry, and I usually don't cry. I usually tear up, but I don't full-on cry or sob. I don't think I have done that so far this year, but this book really, really made me sad and really made me tear up a lot, and no surprise here, it is Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas, which is the very last book of the Throne of Glass series. It was my favorite, and it was just, my heart was clenching throughout the whole time, and this was the one that nearly made me cry. It's the gold that you should know would make anyone sad, because it made me sad, and it just got me, and it wasn't supposed to get me, but it got me, and I teared up so bad, and I just felt so emotional throughout this whole thing. The next question is, what is the book that made you happy? And I'm gonna have to go with a series, which is the Green Creek series by TJ Klune, and that includes Wolfsong, Ravensong, and Heartsong, and the new release that's coming out this year and I'm really excited for, which is Brothersong. I went in knowing that it would be pretty good, but I've heard mixed reviews for all three books, that it was good and it was bad, and I went in not sure where I would stand, if I was in the love side or if I was in the hate side, and I loved it. I didn't know how I would be feeling, and honestly, after I finished all three books, it was fantastic. I loved the relationship. The whole series is a male-male romance, and it deals with werewolves, witches, yes. So when I read this, I loved the romance between both characters. They all each played a very important role throughout the book, and it was fantastic, and I didn't think I loved it so much, but I ended up absolutely loving it. The next question actually is, what is the most beautiful book you've bought so far this year or received? I got this book actually recently, and it's in my book haul that will be up in the cards and description box below, and it is so gorgeous. All these books are actually very gorgeous, but this one particularly caught my eye. It was so gorgeous. I loved it, and I'm ready to read this book. I'm excited to read this, and it is The Priory of the Orange Tree, and please tell me you see the blue. So I'm really excited to read this Priory of the Orange Tree. I think it deals with different myths and legends, and it's by Samantha Shannon. It is a hefty book. It is 800 pages, which is incredible, but I'm really excited to read this. I have heard fantastic things about this book from various booktubers, and I'm so excited. I don't know where I got the recommendation for, but when I saw it, that everybody was talking about it, I was like, I want to get it for my own, and I did, and it's so gorgeous, and I didn't think I would love the cover so much, but I did, so I'm so excited to read this. I hope I read it next month. The last question is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? And I have a lot of books. They're primarily series, and These were all featured in my June TBR, I believe, and it is the first series I want to talk about is the Peter Newman series that I have. I need to get the 2 books after the Death List, so this is the one I want to read. I've been meaning to read this. I got this in like 2015, so it was a while ago, but I'm really excited to read this. I got it, and I don't know why I have this thing where I leave it on my shelf and don't read it, but so I'm ready to read this, and I want to do this after I get the 2 books for this series, because this is also a trilogy. The 3rd and last book, The Boundless, is coming out this year, so I'm hoping I get The Boundless because I want a complete collection. This series, the Deathless trilogy, I want to get before I finish reading it. The next series I want to read is War God by Graham Hancock, and it is also a trilogy, and I want to get the 3rd book, which is Night of Sorrows, and I want to get it before I really dive into this book. So I really want to get the 3rd book before I read this, and it's already out, so luckily if I find this in my library, in my book store, I want to get this. So I've just been meaning to read this, and I want to pick it back up. The last series that I want to read before the year is over is a duology, and it is Sea Witch Rising. Well, I mean, yeah, it's Sea Witch and Sea Witch Rising by Sarah Henning, and I got this thinking it was a standalone, but then it was only this year where I discovered that it was a duology, and luckily I haven't actually read this yet, so I want to be able to get Sea Witch Rising before I dive into this book. It seems like an Ursula retelling, so I'm actually really excited for this, and I really want to get the 2nd book so I can read this, and I'm actually really looking forward to it. And that is all for my mid-year freakout tag. I saw so many booktubers doing this, and I really wanted to do it myself. And if you guys want to do it yourself, the questions will be down in the description box for you guys to do it yourself. And I am most definitely excited about all of these books. I was so excited to share these books with you guys and just tell you some of my favorite things, and I'm so glad I saw people doing this, because I most definitely would not have discovered this on my own. So thank you guys so much for watching. I want to say thank you guys so much for 50 subscribers so far. I am so lucky to have you guys as an audience. I can't wait to continue doing more booktube content for you all. Thank you guys so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up. If you guys want to comment down below if you've read any of these books, or if you want to read it yourself, I want to hear all of that down below. Please give this video a thumbs up and hit that red subscribe button for more book content. And thank you guys also for subscribing and supporting me as a small booktube channel. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you all next time. Bye!